Hey guys, it's Joel, the financial planner student, and I just want to come to you today with what I've been helping my mum with actually. My mum, who is, mid 50s, and she has recently, about a few years ago, divorced with my father, and they split the house and she took on a bigger mortgage, and dad had to go and find his own place as well. So a lot of stuff happening there, but that's okay. That happens this day and age. Things happen and people grow apart. That's just life. But the biggest thing that I've been helping my mum with as of late is that she is wanting to sell the house. She wants to sell the house, set herself up for retirement, so in that way she doesn't have to worry about a mortgage, which is really important if you are looking to retire. So this is a great video for anyone, but especially for those who are in their sort of 50s, 60s, looking to retire and set themselves up so that they can have a good retirement. So essentially what I've been helping my mum with is clearing out the house, and this is especially good to make sure you do before you start thinking about selling the house. I would suggest that you become a bit of a minimalist, and if you have not used any junk that aren't special fond memories over the last 6 months, get rid of it. We've had to do this with my mum's house, and it's taken a good 3 to 4 months to declutter and get rid of all the crap and junk that has built up over the last 28 years that she's lived at this house. It's been a big job, very big job. One of the reasons why I haven't been doing as many videos, of course, with work and other stuff going on, but it has been a very, very big job, and I've been going back and forth between the tip and just getting rid of a whole heap of stuff, which is one of my favorite pastimes as well, by the way. I actually quite enjoy getting rid of crap. I love binning it. I love doing spring cleans. I do one pretty much every year, and we do a massive hard rubbish collection and stuff like that. It's always a lot of fun, and of course it makes room for some new stuff if you really wanted to, or even better is just to get rid of it completely and don't worry about bringing the new stuff because you don't need it. So that's what I've been doing, been helping my mum with decluttering her house and getting it ready for sale. And one of the biggest things, like I said, is with regards to retirement, is trying to get rid of your mortgage. You don't want to have a debt like that, especially a mortgage that is with you for your retirement. Okay, now my mum doesn't have massive superannuation savings or anything like that, so she won't be getting a lot of money from that. So she has to make the majority of her money that she will be using for retirement out of this house, out of the sale of this house. So we have been talking with real estate agents, we've been talking with conveyancers. If you don't know what a conveyancer is, essentially it's a lawyer that helps with the preparation of a Section 32. If you don't know what a Section 32 is, essentially it's a document that every person who comes to have a look at the house receives, detailing all the faults, all the things that are going wrong and stuff like that with the house. And of course the history of sale and all that sort of stuff. So if the house had been sold previously, land sell that has been sold previously as well, things like that. So we've been going through the whole process of selling, and of course in the next few months hopefully buying as well. Mum needs to look at buying a house that is going to be worthwhile, that's going to be low maintenance, it's going to be really good for her retirement. It's a big thing happening for my mum, and I've been trying to help her with that. It's been really enlightening to being able to be there with the real estate agents, work out the processes, and it's been pretty interesting. Now, of course, the first step we did with regards to this was mum decided that she wanted to sell. Knowing that she wanted to retire in the next 4 or 5 years. She didn't want to be working her job. She wanted to maybe look at doing something of her own, or looking to do something part-time. But she didn't want to be in the role that she is currently. She wants to get rid of that in the next 3 to 4 years, even less if possible. And that decision has coalesced from a whole myriad of different things that has occurred over the last 3 to 4 years. So it's not something that has been taken lightly. So we have decided as a collective, like my brothers, her, decided that selling the house was the best option. And to do that, we first off got an appraisal from 3 different real estate agents. That is really important. You need to make sure that you get an appraisal from at least three different real estate agents, so that you, one, can create a good relationship with a real estate agent in the area, because they are the ones that know the market. They're the ones that know what's going in, what's going out, what's selling, what's not. And they can give you a good rough estimate of what your house valuation would be as well. And based on that house valuation, they can give you an understanding of how much money you might get at the end as well, based off of that. So we got 3 appraisals from the real estate agents, and this was actually early this year, in fact, and I remember sitting down with each of them except for one, with my mum and my other brother as well, and we discussed everything, and they also gave us what their commission rate would be. Now, if you don't know what a good commission rate might be for a real estate agent, if you can, try and find a real estate agent that you can just give like $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000 up front. That's probably the best case scenario, but there's not many of them going around because they don't make enough money from it. But yeah, so like if you remember I think it's Purple Bricks, or no, that's Yellow Bricks. What is the purple real estate agent? I'll try and figure it out, and I'll put it in the notes below. But there was essentially a business that's really big in America and stuff. They try to make it big in Australia, and they were offering only, I think it was $3,000 to $5,000 up front, no commissions, and they went bust essentially because they weren't making enough money. So that is essentially what you want to do. If you can find a real estate agent that does no commissions at all, perfect, just does upfront fees, and it's all easy. Otherwise, like what my mum has had to do, because we can't find any in the area, we've gone with the commission rate. Now you have to make sure, we've been given a various amount of commission rates from different real estate agents. I believe mum has actually talked to at least 5 to 6 real estate agents overall, ranging from 1.6% to 2%. Okay, if you are looking at 2%, it's probably too high. You should be looking on average around about 1.7 to 1.8. For those who are at that 1.5 mark, 1.6 mark, that's optimal, of course. You would save a lot more money, like a few $1,000s essentially from the sale of your house. But you got to remember that you also have to understand the real estate agent, whether they're good, whether you trust them with you trust them with your life, because your house is, for most people, the biggest asset you own, which means that is your life. Very, very important. So you have to actually trust this person with your life, essentially. And that's one of the questions I asked when we decided on a real estate agent to go with. I'm like, Mum, do you trust this person? Do you like them? Do you find them, they are genuine people, and they're a genuine person who might be able to actually sell this house for the best possible price that she could get? So that's essentially how we went about the real estate option, and trying to be able to try and find that agent that's going to be the right fit for her. So like I said, we ended up going with a particular real estate agent that offered 1.7% over someone who said 1.5, only because mum trusted that person a little bit more. Deep down, her gut feeling said this person would sell the house for the best possible price. And sometimes you need to go that little bit more expensive to find the best possible person for the job. You can't just undercut yourself, because sometimes, like, what if that person who offered the 1.5% in fact didn't really push as hard as what he would want to get a bigger sale, because all he wanted was some quick money. So that's what happened. So we've done the appraisals, we've found the real estate agent that's going to help sell this house. We've been decluttering and getting rid of everything, getting prepared for photos, which happens on Monday actually, and getting it ready for the sale on the market. So what essentially happens from here on in, now that we've decluttered everything, we've got the house prepared Photos happen on Monday, and then from there, the photos they go into. So you get different marketing packages. Essentially, we've gone with the most basic. You don't need much marketing right now for houses. If you're in Melbourne right now, or even Sydney, in most of Australia, because of COVID, because of everything that's happening, housing market is actually on and up. It's definitely a seller's market right now, which is interesting because obviously there's been a lot of stuff happening in the government and a lot of incentives to buy, essentially, which makes it a seller's market, which is nice. Good timing for my mum. So really good timing. And that's all it is, really. Sometimes it's just good timing, but you don't want to wait either. And we'll go through that in another video. Probably don't have time for that. But essentially, I wanted to tell you now, essentially, what the process is from the sell and what my mother's thinking of doing. Essentially, and what we want her to do as well, because we want to make sure that she moves into a house that, one, is going to get rid of her mortgage. So she's selling her house right now, and let's just say ballpark figures, I highly doubt that she'll get any more than 600 to 650 sort of thing, 650k by the way. So let's just say, for an example, if you have a mortgage, and again, this is a hypothetical, this is not based off of any reasoning or anything like that, any numbers that I've seen. Essentially, let's just say you have a mortgage of, and let's hope not, if you're 50, $400,000. Let's just say, for an example, and then if you had to take out this mortgage of $400,000, then essentially, well, you're in a bad position. But if you sell your house, let's just say it's $800,000 and you get $400,000, you want to make sure you find a house that is within the area you want to retire in, and that's really important, and is maybe small enough to maintain for when you're 70 to 80 years old. Because if you're going to be moving into this retirement home, essentially, which is going to be pretty much your forever home from now on, then you want to make sure it is going to be possible to maintain. It's easily accessible. If you acquire a disability or anything like that, you have to have all of these thoughts happening in your mind. And my partner is an occupational therapist, so that makes my life a lot easier when we go to have a look at some houses for my mum, because she'll be able to tell me and my mum, like, if she had to become wheelchair bound for some reason. Let's hope not, but if she was, then this house might not be the best suited for her, etc. We need to find some property that is going to be accessible, and most properties are that are being built these days, especially new properties. I'm pretty sure it's a standard for government regulations these days. But moving on, so that essentially, once the house is sold, you want to make sure that you buy a property for not just the price of what you previously owned. Okay, you want to downsize and buy something that essentially is going to negate and get rid of that mortgage, because if you get rid of that, your debt has gone from hopefully $400,000 based on the hypothetical to zero. And if you're 50 years old and you have more debt, then I would highly suggest before you retire, you get rid of all of your debt. Of course, every person's situation is different, and everyone is going to be in a different mind frame as well. But I would highly suggest that if you are looking to retire, you talk to someone. Being a financial advisor, a trusted financial advisor, an accountant, someone that's going to be able to give you a good path and some ease of mind when it comes to your retirement. So you have a plan, because if you don't have a plan for when you retire, it's going to get very, very, very difficult. Okay, so that's all that's been happening. I'm going to make a few more videos moving forward with regards to what I've been doing the last 4 to 5 weeks with regards to our finances personally as well, with my partner and I. So look forward to seeing you pretty soon. Make sure that you do subscribe, and remember, like the video, because that is super important for spreading this across YouTube, making sure that more and more people see these videos so they can understand more about what's going on with regards to, like, just today I've talked about mortgages, talked about real estate agents and retiring, and being able to on-sell that asset, downsize enough so you can get rid of your mortgage. So if you use that hypothetical and go $800,000 sell per se, you get $400,000 mortgage. You got to remember taxes are implied as well. So let's just say you get $360,000 actual cash from the sale, and then you got to look at buying maximum 360 to 380,000. You don't want much mortgage left at all when it comes to retiring. Okay, as little debt as possible, and that's the best case scenario. All right, but do remember, subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you guys very soon. And watch out for the next video. If you want to hit the notification bell, that means that you'll get notified as soon as I hit out this next video. All right, guys, have a good one. See you soon.